So let's go ahead and jump into the questions, Bradley. First one is obvious, but it'll really set the tone. So what's the name of the product, and why did you decide to make it?
All right, Local Kingpin is the name of the product. And why I decided to make it was because I've been working in local client consulting and lead generation, local lead generation since 2011, 2010, 2011, so 5 or 6 years now. And I always generated leads and for my own lead gen business as well as for other businesses using SEO. And it's been very effective. But within the last few months, because Google's search engine results pages have changed the way they display their results now, if you're doing some sort of search with local intent, you'll notice that there's 4 ads typically now above a maps box, what they call the 3-pack. So you end up with 4 paid ad listings and then the maps 3-pack with 3 maps listings before you ever get to any organic listings. And that's because of my lead gen business. A lot of the properties that I had ranked that I would use to generate phone calls for businesses that weren't in the maps listings, and I never did any paid traffic before. So my properties that weren't ranked in the maps listings, in other words, if they were just organic rankings, if I didn't have a physical location for the business so that I could rank in the maps section or the 3-pack, my call volume dropped like 60 to 70% from what my normal call volume was. And when I started digging into it, I found out it was really just because of the way the search engine results pages are displayed now with 4 ads and in the maps pack, which takes up like a big part of the screen. You have to scroll below the fold in order to get to the first organic listing. So you have to pass 7 other listings, in other words, to get to the first organic listing. So my call volume dropped significantly, and I needed to fix it. I've got an obligation to my clients, and I also have my own income stream that I need to worry about, obviously. So I started looking into AdWords, and I said, this is something that I've never done. I've always been an SEO guy. Paid traffic, paying Google for traffic seemed like crossing over to the dark side.
Yeah.
So, I've been playing with YouTube ads with you, Zane. I learned a lot from you on how to run YouTube ads, and been doing that for almost 2 years now, and had some good results with it, but I never wanted to pay for Google search. So long story short, I started looking into doing Google AdWords, because if there's 4 listings at the top of the search results on desktop, on mobile, it's usually two ads. But if I could get good at it, learn how to use it finally, and do it profitably, then I could rework my entire lead gen business to be working on the Google Ads platform. And that's really what, or the AdWords platform, I should say. And that's really how Local Kingpin came about, because I needed to fix my own lead gen business based upon how things have evolved, the search engine, Google, how Google has evolved. And then once I started doing that, I realized that there really is good potential there, and it's on-demand traffic generation, because you can set up a local funnel, essentially just a landing page, and set up an ad, and within 24 to 48 hours, you could be actually generating leads. And it's very effective. It's very, I call it Local Kingpin because it's a way to set up these local funnels very quickly once you understand the process, and turn traffic on immediately, that then you can go show results to a prospective client or to a service provider. For example, if somebody's going to be purchasing leads from you, you can show them results immediately, like right up front, as you're pitching them. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you can get this on-demand traffic and then show the results and say, hey, you've got a boost in traffic, and guess what? That's from me.
Yeah, or even if it's somebody else, yes, like somebody that you're already doing work for, or as a way to generate new clients as well, because you can go out and set up a local funnel and an AdWords campaign that is generic. In other words, it's kind of a generic business that you're going to use to generate leads, and then you can start generating leads and then approach businesses that are in that, that in that same area that provide those services and say, look, I've got these leads coming in, and prove it. You can show them with analytics and data from AdWords itself that you're actually generating leads, and say, hey, look, I've got these leads. I need somebody to service them. Are you interested? I can do this for you. And then obviously sell the leads as a premium. So
it's an updated format, because that's a similar way of what you do with the organic stuff, right? And since Google changed the game, you adapted with it and said, okay, well, instead of this, now try this, right?
That's correct. And it's Google redid the search engine results pages the way they did to force more people into advertising. There's no doubt.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. It's my job as a marketer and as a local marketing consultant to provide results, period. And if results require me to learn how to use AdWords and to do it effectively and set up profitable AdWords campaigns, and so be it. It is what it is. But it's as long as it's a profitable campaign. There's something interesting that I learned. I heard it was on some Perry Marshall training for AdWords. He mentioned something about looking at AdWords as a vending machine and not as a slot machine.
I like that. No, that's good.
Yeah. And he says because too many people approach, and businesses, and this is the thing, a lot of local businesses have tried AdWords. Either they tried to set it up themselves and they blew a ton of money and wasted, just a crap ton of money, or they hired a local guy or an AdWords agency, like a big AdWords agency that doesn't give the small budgets, the small advertisers, the care and attention that they deserve, or they hired somebody local that didn't know what the hell they were doing and they pissed a bunch of money away. And so I've noticed that in my own discussion with all my SEO clients, every time I've brought up AdWords, they like, oh, no, we've tried that. It doesn't work. We've wasted a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's because you guys weren't doing it correctly, or the people you hired weren't doing it correctly. And if you understand it and you learn how to set it up and optimizing the campaigns, which is key, then you can make profitable campaigns and treat it as a vending machine instead of a slot machine. So instead of just throwing money into AdWords and hoping and praying that you're going to get a return out of it, you should have, if you have everything set up and all your conversion tracking and everything, you should be able to put $1 in and be able to tell with almost guaranteed certainty how much money you're going to get back out. So I'm going to put $1 in and I'm going to get $1.50 back out. So, okay, if that's the case, well, then I want to put as many dollars in as I can possibly put in. So every time I pull that lever, that AdWords lever, in other words, every time I put money in AdWords, I know that I'm going to get my money back plus whatever my return on investment typically is. And so once you understand that and you can start crafting your campaigns to where they become profitable, then you know it's not a matter of risk. It's a matter of fine-tuning a campaign and just investing in those investing in that traffic, which is going to turn into customers and provide a return on investment.
I really like that approach. It's very Zen-like, right? Like you said, you have to adapt and you have to do what you have to do. And what I also like is because that concept got me thinking, well, you can't just call up Google and say, hey, you know what, my organic listings are falling. Fix that. But if there is some kind of issue that is AdWords' fault with your campaign, they will fix it. Mm-hmm. Not saying that it happens all the time, but there has happened to me a few times where I've had to call AdWords and they happily fixed it because they saw it was their issue. So just the fact that a different mindset, a paradigm shift, if you will, it really changes that focus. And I'm glad that it isn't just, oh, well, Google's terrible and we're gonna double down on the organic stuff. It's like, no, take a less pushy approach and just see what happens. I like that.
I like what you said about that because too often in the SEO industry, everybody looks at Google as the enemy. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I don't, and I never have. And the reason why is because I built my entire business on Google, on being able to, and I use Google products for, Google Drive and all the Gmail, who doesn't, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. All the applications that Google gives us for free, plus the Google search engine, which is how I make my income. So, I've never thought of it as the enemy. I've always thought of Google as like a partner of mine. And so, and I just never knew I didn't ever learn AdWords because I was so effective with SEO and generating leads with SEO that I never needed it. So I just always avoided it. But now it's evolved to the point where Google is trying to get more people to advertise. And I get it. That's how they make their revenue. So, instead of fighting them, I decided if you can't beat them, join them. And that's what I did, was started messing around with it. And I found that it's actually a hell of a lot easier than SEO. Don't get me wrong. SEO is great because you can put in some work. And then once you get ranked, it can generate leads without additional cost. SEO is not free. People say, right? It's free traffic. No, it's not, because there's a lot of time and effort and or money that goes into producing results that can bring you organic traffic. But why not a 1-2 combination? Why not set up AdWords campaigns for on-demand traffic generation? And that's the tagline of the product. It's local Kingpin on-demand traffic generation, and it's because literally you can set up a funnel or a landing page and drive traffic to it. Within 48 hours, you could have leads, bona fide leads coming in. And if you want to pursue organic SEO traffic or Maps SEO traffic, which is what I recommend for any local business, is to always focus on trying to get in the Maps pack. You can work on that while you have traffic coming in and funding the business, fueling the business. You can work on the SEO, which is going to take some time, a few months, anywhere between 2 to 6 months to get ranked in Maps. But once you get ranked in Maps, now you've got both organic or, the Maps listing, which can drive traffic, generate leads, and then the paid traffic, which can generate leads. And so you have the best of both worlds, which when you do an average between your paid leads and your free leads, or the leads that come in from SEO, that lowers your overall cost per lead or cost per acquisition considerably. So you end up, your profit just goes up from there, is my point.
See, and I love that approach. It seemed to make the most logical sense as you've explained it to me before. And I found the very similar situation with YouTube. In fact, it was so much easier to identify all the highest quality keywords and phrases ahead of time, so then you could dive even deeper, putting you way ahead of your competition, because they're still trying to figure out what the best keyword phrases and things like that to rank for organically, because they're just trying to get at least on the first page to see if it triggers any interest. But like you said, it just puts you straight to the front of the line. You're
saying test with paid traffic, identify your money, your high converting money keywords, the ones that people are actually clicking on be converting, whether the conversion's a sale or a lead, whatever it may be, and then target those with your SEO efforts.
Bingo. Yep. And of course it just goes at a much higher accelerated rate, because then what does well, but then you get to explore even further. And again, you're just putting yourself way ahead of the competition, because they're thinking, well, I'm doing SEO, so I'm the one that's saving all the time and money, when they're clearly not.
Yep, it's awesome. that SEO elitism.
I like that elitism. So my next question is, it's more specific about the course itself, Local Kingpin. You've been spending a lot of time on it, and there's a lot of really high quality content in there. Is it easy to understand? Like, if somebody who knows nothing about AdWords, can they pick it up and be able to get going?
Yes. Specifically because the way that anybody that has ever purchased any products for Mastery PR or Semantic Mastery, I'm sure knows the level of detail that we go into when I create training products. I go into minute details, and the reason why is because I typically set up the training so that I can pass it off to virtual assistants and have them learn the process and then repeat the process, so that I never have to do it again. So I only learned the process long enough to be able to provide step-by-step training on how to do it. Then I produce that and hand that off, so that I can have other people do it for me. I can delegate the work, so I don't have to do it anymore. And that's what this course is laid out for, in the exact same way. This is no different than the rest of our courses. And so therefore, if you were to purchase this Local Kingpin, even if you have no AdWords chops, no AdWords skills whatsoever, it's fine. Even if you've never set up, even if you have never done local marketing before, you could go through this and know how to set up local funnels. They're essentially just two-step funnels, but they're I call them local funnels, local landing pages, whatever. You could set up these little landing pages and set up ads campaigns, connect all the accounts with analytics and Search Console, get everything fine-tuned and working well. And then, you could do that just by going through the course, even if you've never done it, because it truly is step by step. And at the same time, you could also put a virtual assistant of your own through the course. And we encourage that, by the way. If for people that purchase our courses, if they have virtual assistants, put them through the course, because they're designed to be able to teach even a virtual assistant how to do something. And so this course is no different. It's step by step, literally over the shoulder. I mean, from the concept all the way through execution and then follow up.
All right. So that my next question, again, still staying with the actual course itself, you have mentioned the amount of work that you've put into it. Can you give us an idea, like if I sat down with it today and just started going through the training, like for example, how many modules, how much time would I have to invest to actually just get through the course?
Well, it would probably take you at least a couple days to go through. Like, if you were, as far as how many hours to go through it, I'm not sure. But, I'm the type that if you go through the training and you follow along and like actually execute the steps as you're going, it would take you a couple days, no doubt, to get through it. But that's because it's your first time. And that's really the idea, is to go through it and set up a funnel, do the entire process from start to finish, and do that a few times until you become proficient at it. And then once you're proficient at it, your efficiency will go up. You'll be able to do a lot quicker. And then that's why, again, I recommend also handing it over to a virtual assistant, or bringing a virtual assistant on board and putting them through the training and having them do it. Because if it's their sole job to set these campaigns up, which, I mean, from start to finish, soup to nuts, they say, if that's their entire job, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, then they'll become incredibly efficient at it. In fact, you could scale and even put more people in place doing it. And if you know how to generate these local funnels that are profitable and you can do it quickly, then what would stop you from scaling your business? You know what I mean? Nothing. So,
Yeah.
it would take a minimum of a couple days to go through it. But to be honest with you, if it depends on your level of prior experience with online marketing. Like, do you have WordPress experience? If not, do you know how to do keyword research? If you're 100% brand new, it would probably take you a week to get through the course, no lie. And I'm not saying that to scare anybody, but it really is that in depth. There's no open holes in the course that are left for you to guess or have to go do research on your own. Everything is there.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense though. We're not talking about, like, how to learn a new hobby or something like that. We're talking about a way to either start a new business or improve your business. And I mean,
That's correct.
to say that it's just going to take a couple of hours, that seems just like you'd be doing people a disservice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. So the next question, we've been talking a lot about AdWords and this new angle from going from SEO to AdWords. Is there a tip, or maybe, like, say a nugget that you could share with our viewers right now in relation to local Kingpin that they could apply to their business right now?
As far as what, AdWords?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've been knee deep in this for a while. So is there anything that comes across that you could say that you could just give some advice on or something?
Yeah, I would say if you're not, whether you buy local Kingpin or not, it's fine, because local Kingpin is really a system for setting up from, again, start to finish these funnels, and that's building out the whole thing. But if you've already got some local business experience or whatever, and you're not using AdWords yet, the takeaway you should get from this interview alone, if nothing else, is just to start getting involved in AdWords, because it's only going to continue to be pushed upon local businesses, especially AdWords. Like, Google is going to continue making it more difficult to generate leads from its search engine organically. It's going to continue to do so. In fact, they've already started rolling out paid spots in the Maps 3-pack. There's only 3 spots available, and they're already rolled that out, because we've got several students that have sent in screenshots showing local searches in their area, and the first listing in the 3-pack is paid. So that means there's only 2 additional spots left, which means you have to be on top of your game, your SEO game, to be able to be in that, to only get one of available 2 spots in the 3-pack, right? Mm-hmm. And so my point is, and that's creeping in. That went from, again, the paid ads now. And remember, guys, well, I don't know if I say remember, like we've talked about this before. The ads now are also what they call extended ads, and extended ads now have longer headlines. They have more real estate below the actual blue headline. Now there's more real estate. There's more text that can go in there. There's really 2 headlines now instead of 1. The description area, so the ad description, which is below the blue text, like the meta description area, if you're familiar with SEO terms, that area now contains or can hold up to like 80 characters or something. It's ridiculous. They keep making it bigger so that it takes up more space on the search engine results pages. That in addition to, there's ad extensions, and ad extensions allow, like for example, a call extension will put a phone number right in the ad. A location extension will put a maps pin in the ad with links to the maps listing. You have site link extensions, which will put blue clickable links to other pages on the site. So there's all these different extensions that you can add into your AdWords ads that make it take even more space up, which means it's more likely to be clicked on because it takes it's more prominent on the page. And so my point is, all of these things that Google keeps doing, it's making it harder and harder to generate leads, specifically for local businesses, through traditional SEO methods. And because of that, again, the one takeaway, whether you purchase local Kingpin or not, I really don't care. We certainly encourage you to do so. But if not, is just start learning how to use AdWords and using it for local business marketing, because it's going to be an invaluable skill going forward as a local business marketer or consultant.
That's some powerful stuff. I absolutely agree. I also have found in my own research that, and of course Google won't admit it, but every time I've used paid ads, I have seen my organic stuff move higher.
Boost.
Sometimes a little bit faster, right? But again, you can't call Google and say, "Hey, is this a thing?" It's just something that I've noticed myself. So like that I agree is the definite takeaway, is that they want to sweeten the deal for the end user, the person who's searching for it, and they're going to do everything that they can to make that happen. So again, like you said, if you can't beat them, join them. Plus, you have no say in the matter. It's Google. It's their stuff. They can do whatever they want, and you don't have to like it. You can be as mad as you want. It's their business and their website, and they're letting you play on their playground.
I read somewhere it's their sandbox. They just let you play in it.
Exactly. So you got to roll with it. And again, you have a very Zen-like approach to it, of just like, all right, just roll with it. Use their energy to benefit you.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I've been talking a lot about specifically AdWords, like Google search, but AdWords is also for video. It's YouTube ads, but it's AdWords for video is what it's called. So there's a lot of traffic to be generated from AdWords for video. So from YouTube, essentially, advertising on YouTube, even for local businesses. And I think most local businesses don't advertise on YouTube because they don't know how. And there's not a lot of local marketing consultants out there that know how to drive traffic to local businesses through YouTube marketing either. And because of that, it's wide open. And YouTube ads are incredibly cheap. The inventory is so low. My average that I pay, it ranges anywhere between about 15 cents to 35 cents per view. That's average on cold traffic. But then the key is to build remarketing lists. And remarketing lists, whenever you start building a remarketing list, and all this is covered in the training, but once you build remarketing lists, is you can generate traffic from YouTube for literally 1 penny per click. Anywhere it ranges between like 1 to 3 cents per click, or per view, I should say. But that's really, really cheap, because especially for local businesses. Now, there's not a flood of traffic for local businesses that comes from YouTube, but the leads are still, a lead is a lead. So whether you pay $25 for a click from Google search, or you pay 3 cents from a click from YouTube, it's still a lead, So which is the more profitable lead in that case? Obviously, it's going to be the one from YouTube. So that's the other takeaway, is just get involved with AdWords. And if you're broke, or if you're too tight to spend money, then I recommend starting with YouTube ads and learn that. But because I'm not going to lie, this is one caveat about local Kingpin: you have to be willing to spend money, because you have to break some eggs to make an omelet. There's just no way around it. But it's the idea, it's the understanding that you're going to spend a little bit of money with AdWords to dial in a campaign that is going to become profitable very quickly once you've learned the skill. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. And I'm glad that you said that, because there's going to be a lot of people like, well, is there some secret loophole or something like that? Nope, it is what it is.
That's right.
Money has to be spent. It's advertising.
If you're not willing to spend money, then this is not a course for you. And I want to make that clear and upfront right off the bat. It requires you to have an advertising budget. It doesn't need to be much. You can start off with like $10 a day. That's essentially $300 a month, and get your first funnel up and start generating leads with that first funnel. Make it profitable, get it profitable, and then you can start reinvesting in increasing your ad spend, your daily ad spend, to another project, for example, and start scaling. So you have to have some budget to work with to get started, or else you're just not going to be able to produce any leads.
Yeah, it's better that we hear it now than later. I mean, I'm sure there's been courses out there that aren't as open and honest as you're being right now. So that's definitely appreciated. I know the viewers will love that. But to clarify at one point, so to be clear, you do go into detail about AdWords for video, the YouTube
yes.
ads?
Well, as it pertains to local marketing, yes.
Of course. All right. Good, because I know that question will definitely come up as well. So with that, we've been chatting for a while. People have gotten a really good idea of what this product is about and the passion that you've put into it. But let's get down to brass tacks. What's the investment that we're looking at here?
The front end product should be $297, and then it's going to end up going up to $497 as its final resting. That's like its evergreen price. We don't have launches like a lot of the product developers out there that are limited launches and then they close. And we close the offer and nobody else can join. We don't do that. We keep all of our products evergreen. We obviously do a launch special for the first week. We might do a really special launch for 24 hours only at $197 on the front end.
Nice.
But it's going to be as it stands right now, it's going to be $297 on the front end, and then it'll become, after the initial launch period, it'll be $497. There is an upsell. The upsell is it's an upgrade. It's completely optional, but it's called Maps Kingpin. And Maps Kingpin is, okay, now you've set up your AdWords funnels. You've got you're generating traffic on demand. Well, how do you want to capture some of that holy grail of traffic that they say is free traffic, but it's not, organic traffic, and specifically from the Maps packs, because I know from my lead gen business that's where about 80% of all my call volume comes from as it pertains to SEO. It comes from the local Maps pack if I'm ranked in there and not the organic listings.
So that's the OT. It seems to make sense. It goes hand in hand, right? Yeah. And of course, usually when you're learning something, you start to hear about other points, and you're just saying that that's already going to happen. So we've already got something. We know what you're thinking, and we've got you covered.
So, and that's what I'm saying is the Maps Kingpin upgrade is for those people that want to do, like, some people aren't going to want to do the SEO work because it's a lot of additional work and it takes time to get it to rank. And so I completely understand that. Like, I'm coming as an SEO and running an SEO agency, and that's all I've done for the last 5 or 6 years is SEO work. I am moving more and more towards just doing AdWords because it's so effective and it's so scalable. But if you want to capture that traffic, which is it's going to be much more profitable if you're able to also get traffic from the Maps pack, organic traffic from the Maps pack, and that's what this is. If you want to put in the additional work and rank in Maps so that you can capture that traffic, which will significantly lower your cost per acquisition costs, then this is definitely for you. And once again, this can be the Maps Kingpin part of the training can also be outsourced.
All right, so we're getting down to the final question here. Along with the investment, do you have a guarantee or some kind of policy like that? I mean, some people don't, but do you?
Yeah, we have. I'm pretty sure it'd be a standard 30-day policy. That's most of our refund policies. That's what most of our products have. It's 30-day refund policy. So if you buy the product and you don't like it for whatever reason, you can return it, no questions asked, within the first 30 days. If that changes, it will be noted on the sales page for sure.
All right. Well, I don't have any other questions for you, Bradley. Do you have any final thoughts before we go ahead and go?
No, man, it was cool getting to chat about this. I'm really excited about this product. I've been putting a lot of work into it, a lot of study. I've learned a ton just learning how to set all this stuff up myself because, again, I'm fairly new to AdWords, but I've been able to set up these funnels and generate traffic and get them profitable very quickly, specifically for local type businesses. I work mainly in the construction industries, like home services and contractors. And so those are the examples that I set up throughout the training and get them profitable quickly. And that's, it's been kind of an eye opener for me. It's something that I wanted to do more and more of because it's fairly simple to set up once you learn the process. And so, I've been excited about doing this. Anytime I get to learn as well as teach.
Well, I really appreciate your time. I'm going to go ahead and click stop broadcast, and we'll see you in the next interview, Bradley.
All right. Thanks, Zane.
See ya.